You don't waste too much time, because the more opportunities you put in front of yourself, the more chances you have to make money.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Marc joining us from Pennsylvania, and he's an award-winning CEO and 20 plus year entrepreneur in a performance marketing and real estate. So Marc, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to achieve the first million?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Harry. So the 5 steps. First step, it always starts off, I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. It's your mind. Your mind has to be in check. It has to be positive. It has to be open to opportunities, and it has to be accepting opportunities to come in. The second thing I would say is, once you have your mind figured out what niche you're going to be in, right? So if it's going to be real estate, if it's going to be lead generation with marketing, those are the things that I did. You want to figure out your niche, okay? After you figure out where you're going to be focusing, what type of service you're going to offer, the next thing you want to figure out is who you're going to approach to sell your service. So if it's in real estate, you're going to maybe approach real estate brokers who have properties and deals for sale, etc. If it's lead generation, you reach out to marketing companies and figure out what they want to buy for their clients. Next would be getting those the platforms and the actual leads, the service to provide for them. So sometimes people use AI, sometimes people use Facebook, sometimes people use LinkedIn. You got to start generating all those leads and all those services or whatever. Get that service platform that you're going to utilize to sell the service, the SaaS platform. Figure out what you're going to use and then offer it. And then the last part I'm going to say is just have fun, right? Mm-hmm. Once you got it all figured out and you got everything figured out, stay positive, help your clients, bring a ton of value, and have fun. Because when you're having fun, good things happen to good people. So,
Marc, we already interviewed 500 millionaires, and one out of 6 entrepreneurs, millionaires that we interview in this podcast, they are doing real estate in some different type of strategy. If is to share with our audience, do you think that real estate is a good vehicle to become a millionaire, or we only hear the positive stories here in Harry's podcast, and then we never hear about the people that fail? Or what is your view in this statistic, which is a reality, what is happening? And the proof is this broadcast. If you hear this podcast, and our listeners, they know that 1 out of 5 eventually consistently over 500 interviews have been doing real estate in some form, right? And that has contributed a lot for them to become wealthy. So what's the secret? It's real estate.
So I would say, let's say for real estate, for example, if we're talking about that, there's a really easy way to get into real estate. It's called bird dogging, is what we call it in the industry. And all that means is you have a buyer here and you have someone looking to sell something. So they're selling a home. The buyer wants to buy the home because they want to rent it out. All you have to do is connect the two. That's called a bird dog. You don't have to be selling the home. You don't have to be buying the home.
And with no money, you already can start in the game, right?
That's right. So if the seller is like, I want to sell it for $100,000, and the buyer says, well, I'll buy it, you negotiate and say, well, you buy it for $110,000. So now they'll pay $110,000, and that $10,000 comes to you, and then you give the $100,000 to the seller. So you make $10,000. It could be that simple, just connecting the dots of who wants to buy, who's selling, and connecting. Now you're going to run into opportunities where there's a lot of people where they don't actually want to negotiate and they want a certain price that's too high or too low. But then you just go on to the next deal. You don't waste too much time, because the more opportunities you put in front of yourself, the more chances you have to make money.
Follow us for more interviews with the world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs, that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.